Hi everyone, welcome once again to my channel. My name is Gennady. If you have watched my previous video, it was about the blind testing steps, and today I decided to bring blind testing into the action. So hopefully not very embarrassing. Let's see if I can get this wine right. Actually, what I did is I asked the lady to choose the wine for me. I don't know anything about this wine. All what I know is the price. I told her to choose a wine up to 50 euros, which means it can be 15, 20, 30, up to 50 euros. Um, yeah, and I asked them to open the wine for me as I don't want to see the cork. It may have some information. I'm not going through the old steps though. I'll try like to mention again on the side to check the side, the nose, the palate, and to jump into the conclusion. So let's see how it's going to be. Oh, it's red wine. Okay. So in competition scenarios, by the way, or exams, you don't have that much time. You always have like 4 or 5 minutes to blind test wine, so it's kind of like more stressful. So let's first check the color of the wine. What is the color? So this is I have a, by the way, white background here, which is going to help me. Uh, so the color it's ruby core and kind of like a thin garnet trim, kind of like a pale orange maybe even, which brings me to some grape varieties, make me think some grape varieties, but I'll not decide yet as this can trick me. So, and then automatically I may start to describe the one which I think it is. So let's go through this, the appearance. So ruby core with a thin garnet trim, no CO2, no sediments, it's clean. And the color suggests that probably still youthful, but may have some age behind, which I'll confirm later, of course. So let's check the nose. On the nose it's clean, with a medium plus aroma intensity, with a, I would say, not ripe, but not also tart. I would say just between, kind of like, let's say, a ripe fruit condition. And let's check for some primary aromas. It shows some sour cherries, some cranberries, some tart strawberries, let's say. There is also that herbal quality to it, this kind of like Mediterranean vibe, like thyme or basil kind of. Also, it also shows that some vegetal character, like tomato leaf. Let's check for some oak influence, which are secondary aromas. Oak. I think I do get some coffee, mocha, a little bit of smoke, which indicates some oak aging, but I'll confirm that on the palate, of course. I do believe that this wine it was aged in oak. I'm not sure if it's American or French, as this is quite difficult. I don't get any vanilla or coconut, so I think it's a French oak. And maybe partially of it was new, like let's say 50%, or it could be less, but I'll confirm that later on the palate. And 33 aromas. It's hard to detect tertiary aromas. I'm not sure. The color, it says that it may have some age behind, but maybe a little bit of tobacco leaves. So I will say this wine is developing. And the palate, let's check on the palate. On the palate, the wine is dry, it's clean, still wine with elevated acidity. Elevated acidity, let's check the alcohol. Alcohol, I think it's medium plus. I think it's around 13.5. Acid is very refreshing. Tannins are, let's say, medium plus again. They feel a little bit astringent, a little bit of astringent, like not fully ripe, but maybe that's because it's still very young and the tannins are going to be different. In a few years, they're going to soften maybe, and yeah. So we mentioned about the alcohol, acid, tannins. Am I forgetting something? Yeah, it's quite complex. It has good complexity, a good balance, and the finish is good too. Finish, I think it's quite long. So, time for conclusion. What can be? Yeah, I think this wine probably was vinified in stainless steel tanks and aged in new French oak barrels. New French oak barrels, probably partially new. I believe this wine comes from Europe, old world, due to that acid structure and general tannins. So I would say Europe, old world. This can be tricky. It can be Pinot Noir, it can be Nebbiolo, it can be Sangiovese, also Tempranillo from Spain. But due to that Mediterranean vibe, let's say, and tomato leaves, due to that acid which I get, and tannins structure in general, I always associate with Italy. I have to decide, and hopefully we are right. So I'll place this wine in Italy. Comes from a warm Mediterranean climate. I'll say Tuscany. I'll say it's a Chianti. So if it's a Chianti, is it just a generic Chianti? Is it Reserva? Is it Chianti Classico or Gran Selezione? I think it's a good quality wine. I think it's a very good quality, actually, I will say. I think I'll place this, I think it's a Chianti Classico. I'll say it's a Chianti Classico, grape variety Sangiovese, and age range. I think this is between 3 and 5 years old. 3 and 5 years old. I'll place this wine in a vintage 2020. Yeah, 2020. So, Italy, Toscany, Sangiovese, Chianti Classico, 2020 vintage. Let's see how we did. Hopefully. So far, okay, I see DOCG here on the, if you can see a DOCG, so it means we are at least in, at least we are in Italy. So, oh my God, I think I nailed it. Let's see. Okay, so guys, it's Chianti Classico Riserva. Okay, 2021. I couldn't get the vintage here right, but I was quite close, I believe. Yeah, I have to say it's a very good wine. I haven't tasted this wine before. So if you, see, you can see here behind the label as well. So I'm quite happy, to be honest. Yeah, thank you once again for visiting this channel. I hope you liked the video, guys. And many other videos are going to follow in the future. Thank you very much for your time, and see you soon.